Okie dokie. So, welcome everyone to another AMA here with Immutable, this time featuring Bit Heroes Bitverse. Really excited to introduce you to our three guests here and go ahead and we'll start this off. So, with that, starting with Max, would you like to introduce yourself before passing it down the line?
Sure thing. Hey, everyone, I'm Max Murphy. I'm the CTO at Congregate. We are the company that is building Bit Heroes. I'll pass it off to Jorge.
Hey, everyone. My name is Jorge Gonzalez. I am the VP of Product here at Congregate. I've been working in the game industry for 10 years now, and 4 years in Congregate, and 3 years with Beat Heroes. I'll send it to Viper.
Hello, this is Donnie McCullough. I'm a senior product manager here at Congregate, responsible for the Bitverse, and happy to be here.
Well, awesome. Thanks. Really happy to have you three here. This is definitely an interesting day going through all this news. So with that, want to go ahead and kick it off and say, with Max, you mentioned you're obviously with Congregate. How does Congregate feature here? And how did you get involved a little bit with Bitverse?
Yeah, sure. So, Congregate, we're a 16-year-old company. We've been diving into the blockchain Web3 space over the past year. We found one of our existing IPs, which is Bit Heroes RPG, now known as Bit Heroes Quest, was an IP that we loved. And when it came down to the time where we started exploring, like, hey, let's make a metaverse game. Let's make a universe. The Bit Heroes title just really fit, and that's where I appealed to Jorge. I said, please, let's make a universe, and the rest is, I guess, history.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember distinctly playing a lot of games back on Congregate back in the day. So it's interesting and pretty cool to see you guys made the jump to Web3.
Yeah, I would say Max has been always been pushing for this for a couple of years. And then, when he was looking for games at the end of 2021, we all just felt that Beat Heroes was the right IP to do this, right? It has always been built on so many aspects that correlate with the Web3 community that we felt it was a perfect fit, right? Not only the art is amazing, right? It's a little bit goofy, but it's very serious when it wants to be serious. It's a world where customization is king, right? You can customize your character the way you want, and when it was built in the first place, it always had like the community behind. I think it's one of the first Discord communities that kind of drove development. So all of that resonated a lot with what current DAOs are trying to do. So yeah, that's how we ended up here.
That's great. You beat me to the punch a little bit with the next question, but I'll go ahead and ask it again because as a follow-up. So what is Bitverse about, and how did the idea of a game universe begin with your team?
Oh, yeah, sure. So what is Bitverse about? So just touch a little bit on that, right? Like Max was looking for games. I pitched this as a side thing at the beginning, like, hey, what it would build is this metaverse of games of different genres, right? But with this IP at the core, and with the player hero at the core, as well as the main NFT that a player owns, right? That traverses across all these games, right? And those games are going to be like, it can be an RPG game, it could be an endless runner, it can be a platformer, it can be a battle royale type of game, it can be a tower defense or a card game, right? But in all of those, your character, your NFT, and also PFP is going to be at the center of it, right? So that was a pitch. Max loved it, and the rest is history. In terms of what else is Bitverse, it's also a cross-platform universe, right? We're going to be on web, Steam, mobile, almost everywhere where it makes sense to be. We are hybrid, meaning that we are looking towards models like merging models like free to play and play and own, right? Every game is going to be playable as a standalone game if people just want to enjoy them that way as a free to play player. But there will be like this layer of blockchain features that stand on top, right? such as their character, your items, your mount, our currency, right? Like the Bitpixel, which is our token. Like all those things are going to sit on top. They're going to be optional to engage with, but they're gonna be part of the whole experience if you want to enjoy it like that.
That's awesome. So one thing I'm kind of curious about is, could you tell us a little bit more about Bit Heroes, kind of the games you guys are looking to build, the styles, and potentially how will they interoperate with other games as an NFT asset?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, we're building interoperability between our games, right? I mentioned the NFT hero at the center of everything. The 3 games that we're building this year, it's the existing Beat Heroes RPG or Beat Heroes Quest, which we are retrofitting. Like that's a game that is already been live for several years, and we're just building this technology on top. Then we're gonna get Beat Heroes Arena in October. So next month is going to be launching. And that one is a battle royale type of game. You can host battles of up to 40 players at the same time, right? And it has some MOBA elements, right? So imagine you're merging Fortnite with League of Legends a little bit in this case, which makes it like very unique. And it's kind of our go-to game right now internally whenever we want to, take a break and play something. And then the 3rd game that is coming also this year is Beat Heroes Runner. It's coming up in November. It's an endless runner type of game where you're going to be running away from a boss, trying not to get caught, and defeating enemies as you keep running and achieving a higher score. And then 2023, we're working on a couple of projects on the side, and I cannot disclose much about those yet, but we're prototyping stuff.
Of course, want to make sure you don't disclose too much there.
We will eventually, but right now our focus is the games from this year and the presale.
That's awesome. So I guess I'm a little bit curious. We're oftentimes on these AMAs, we're given these different game styles that are being put out by companies, whether it's an FPS game or a tower defense style game. Why did you choose the genres that you did, like a runner or a battle royale, to be your guys' first games?
So I think for us it was mostly about, there were 2 big things for us this year when we started to think about the Bitverse. We wanted to kind of prove the concept, right? We wanted to learn. We wanted to be quick to market as well, right? Like we know there's been a lot of projects out there. There's been a lot of vaporware, right? That has given the space bad rap. So we wanted to prove ourselves. And to us, let's say that we focused on games that, hey, they're going to be quick to develop, that are going to appeal to a lot of players, right? I feel like in the past, the Web3 community has been regarded as small. So we wanted to expand and broaden that to more people, right? Like we want to bring more eyes to Web3 and what we're doing. So that's essentially why we picked these two genres, right? It also, I think they remove a little bit the fear of blockchain from people who are not that used to blockchain.
Yeah, Jorge, if I can add one more thing, I think it's a variety, right? You kind of touched on this, but it's the variety in terms of, hey, if you start playing Quest and you just want to break, but you still want to be able to utilize your NFT assets, then you can jump over to Runner for a little bit or to the Arena game and then come back after your break. So it's a little bit of like providing variety to folks as well, extra value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you think about we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. If you think about like WoW, like World of Warcraft, right, which is a game that I think a lot of people are familiar with. You had your core experience in the game, right, when you were raiding or farming or just like doing dungeons. But then you could also jump on battlegrounds that kind of changed the rules and they presented you a different type of gameplay, right? So in a way, these 2 games, both Arena and Runner, they provide you that type of experience on the side, right? So if you think about them as different legs and arms to the core project, which would be Beat Heroes Quest, then things start to make more sense.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm not giving too much out about the future, but the kind of plan is to build some features, maybe even some storyline across the different games. So just having those different genres gives us the flexibility to try out different things as we look to build like the world fiction and try to do some inclusive things.
That's super cool. Thanks for sharing that, especially. I really appreciate the logic as to why games diversify. You know, like you said, having these different genres definitely makes it a lot more accessible to the greater community. So I guess I'm a little bit curious. What does the tokenomics kind of look like for Bitverse that sets it apart from the other IPs or other projects out there in the space?
I think that's a great question for Viper.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want me to jump in that one? Well, the first difference between us and I think a lot of the projects is we are not launching our token first. We are launching our main asset, the Bitverse Hero NFT first, and launching the games first so that folks can, obtain a hero and go into the games, start playing, getting familiar with the game systems, start progressing their character, leveling up. And that will allow us to see both how folks are utilizing the games and just to see what players are interested in. And what we will start to do after that point is really focus on utility of what a token would be when we actually launch. So we don't want to launch the token and just have a giant float sitting out there with very little utilization or very little ways to use the tokens. And so we'll then focus on how are we going to have folks utilize, how are we going to have folks spend, how are we going to have folks earn, and really base that off real world behaviors, and then come along and launch the BitPixel token early 2023, I think, according to our roadmap, and go from there. So I would say that's probably the biggest difference is we didn't immediately launch a token first and then try to come up with usability later. We're focusing on usability and playability first, and then we'll get to the tokenomics side.
That's awesome. Really glad that you were able to explain that a bit more. I was a bit curious myself. So I guess, Donnie, since I've already got you here, can you tell us a little bit more about kind of the Bit Heroes NFTs and some of the gameplay mechanics?
Yeah, so Jorge covered on this a little bit. Your NFT kind of is like your avatar in the Bitverse, and you will use your Bitverse Hero NFT across all the games. You'll load it in, you'll use that character. They are all unique, they're all one of one. So you'll be the only person who has a character with that set of attributes that the character is made up with. So you can advertise yourself, or if you're a streamer or anything like that, you will have your character and know that no one else will be able to have that same character. And then you'll be able to go play the games, and you'll be able to earn progression with that character. Our heroes come with a lot of perks. Probably the biggest one, which this perk is applicable to every rarity of our heroes, is we store in-game progression with the character. And if ownership ever transfers of that character, whether you give it to a friend or you sell it on a third-party marketplace, the in-game progression, as long as it's not attached to a separate NFT item, will actually go along with that Bitverse hero, and that new owner will be able to utilize. So if you started off a fresh character and you had it up to level 100, you give it to your friend. When they turn on the game, they're going to start off at level 100. That's one of the biggest perks. There are other perks that we've highlighted, but that's probably the biggest one, and the one I'd highlight the most and say it probably most differentiates ourselves from other games. And that, again, let me say that storage of progression will work across all the games. The 3 we launched this year, and we would plan to keep that as we move forward with additional games coming out.
That's awesome. And just a quick question for clarity's sake, that same interoperability between, your existing games and the future games, will that progress carry over there as well?
Yes. That is our intent.
That's what's going to happen. Obviously, you need to think, like, it's important to understand that progress on each game is different, right? Like when you're playing the RPG game, obviously your level and your inventory of items is like a huge measure of your progress, right? But when you're thinking about that in the context of the battle royale, right? Like progress on the battle royale is very different. And there's also another aspect that needs to be considered, which is like game balancing, right? So a lot of the things that you're going to carry from other games eventually is going to be things like cosmetics, right? because we want to keep like the experience fair for everyone. We don't want to break the world and then create a game that it's not going to really be up to the challenge.
Yeah, that's an excellent call out.
Yeah, that's definitely really nice to hear, especially when, you know, designers are keeping in mind the game balance when you're bringing in these assets. You know, you hate to hear it's like, yeah, I'm bringing in my level X item from another game, you know, bringing your asset, but then it completely just breaks the game balance. So I love that you guys are keeping it exclusively to cosmetics. That's really awesome for your players and community.
And eventually, you know, we are talking about, you know, for the future, we'll probably do NFT items as well, right? And those might have stats across different games, but we will make sure that that is balanced when it comes down.
Awesome. So, question for Jorge. We've heard some whispers of a presale. Could you tell us a bit more about that? What makes these special, and is there any utility?
So I'm just going to give you a date, and then I'm going to send it to Donnie, because Donnie has been in charge of all of this for the last months, and he's been doing an incredible job and getting things done with our team, with Max's team. So I'll just say that the pre-sale is coming on the 22nd of September. The allow list is going to be live this week, Thursday or Friday, depending on, you know, how our QA test goes and how many bugs we uncover. And then there's going to be a reservation system, but Donnie can give you a lot more details.
Yeah, I can, and I have to hold back from giving too many details and too many numbers out here. But if I look at it from a high level, the pre-sale itself will occur on September 22nd. We will have 2,500 what we're calling portals. Other people may call them packs, but we call them portals because who wants to shove a hero in a cellophane package? We call them portals. So we have 2,500 spread across 4 different rarities: common, rare, epic, and legendary. Within those portals, you have a chance to open a hero of at least the corresponding rarity or higher. So if I give you one example, in the common portal, which is our lowest tier portal, there's a 95% chance of getting a common hero, a 4.9% chance of getting a rare hero, and there's a 0.1% chance of actually getting a mythic hero, which would be our highest tier hero.
Is he breaking up for you guys or only for me?
Some of the perks, I didn't mention this earlier, but our different rarities of heroes, while in-game progression is common across all of them.
So that's awesome. Thanks for
I think Donnie's breaking up.
Yeah, tiny bit.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to fill in the details. So as Donnie was saying, we're going to have 4 different packs that enclose 5 different varieties of heroes. So the packs are going to be common, rare, epic, and legendary, and they're going to guarantee at least a hero of such rarity, right? And then each pack has a smaller chance of giving you, like, let's say if you're buying the common pack, it's going to have like a 5 to 10% chance to give you a rare. And there's going to be like a small chance of pulling a mythic from each one of those packs, right? Now, again, we have a lot of information on our Medium blog, so if anyone wants to get all the details about, why to get each one of those, you can go there. But to sum it up, basically, the higher the rarity, the more perks you're going to get in the game. And those perks won't have advantages in terms of balancing, right? But they will have advantages in terms of like, hey, maybe whenever you make a purchase in the game, you'll get more gems. If you own an NFT hero, you won't have to. You'll get all the rewards from ads for free. Like you won't have to engage with ads, right? You'll get access to, like, I think Epic Legendaries and Mythics get an exclusive mount, NFT mount, and NFT pet, right? Like there's a bunch of perks associated with that, and also cosmetically and visually, the higher the rarity of your hero, the more like a kind of visual cosmetic elements it has, right? So for example, like Common will start only with like 4 different visual cosmetics, like obviously within categories of cosmetics, right? And within those, again, as Donnie said, your hero is going to be completely unique. But then, maybe the Mythic has 10 or 12 different cosmetic elements that are variable. So that's why you might want to engage with one of those. As Dennis was saying, we're going to have like the allow list coming up by the end of this week. So you'll be able to go to the bitverse.io, right, and join the allow list when that happens. If you want to get notified in the moment, follow us on Twitter or on our Discord, which are linked in our site, the bitverse.io. And so you get the announcement. After the allow list, there's going to be a reservation date that it's going to be, again, it might be this week or beginning of next week, depending on how things go. What you will be able to do is to secure at least one unit that you want out of those portals, right, before the pre-sale starts. So you will pay a small reservation fee for that. Think about, whenever people are buying a Tesla these days, right? Like they can put a small reservation fee to secure one of those NFTs. And then, yes, the pre-sale date is on September 22nd for 2,500 NFTs.
Awesome. Thanks for picking that up there. Appreciate it. No, we lost Donnie for a little bit, but thanks for the save.
No worries.
I believe we do have a question here for Max. This is one that was previously asked on one of our AMAs, but always want to ask it again now that we got you here. So your vision mentions a hybrid sustainable model. What might make these models safe for users?
Well, it's really about giving users like the comfort, right? Moving from, say, like a free-to-play world, a Web 2 world, into Web 3. We're finding, a great transition path is, here are all the things that you currently do. Here's everything that you're interacting with in this game. And here's the difference when it's running on blockchain. And to you, the end user, it's essentially no different of gameplay. And that's really the game first vision that we have here at Congregate, not only with the Bitverse, but with all of our other projects that we have going on, is creating like a safe, welcoming, and like really easy to understand space for people to transition into Web3 gaming, because it's you can't just flip a switch on anything. I mean, the transitions I've been through with on-premises data centers to the cloud, from premium gaming to free-to-play gaming, they all have this transitionary period, and that's what our hybrid model is really trying to leverage and trying to like extend to the user.
If you think about it, what we're trying to do at the end of the day is we're trying to give, we're good at building free-to-play games. We've been doing that for years, right? We know how to do this. So we're building those games from the ground so they are playable by anyone. And then what you need to think about in terms of like, why should I own an NFT, right? First of all is asset ownership, right? Like that NFT will be yours. You'll be able to trade your progression will be yours. So whether you want to give it to your brother, right, and he's going to be playing for you, or you want to just sell it because you got tired with the project and you just want to move somewhere else, like it's going to be yours. So all of that, those promises will be fulfilled. And then on top of that, what we want to give NFT owners is a very premium experience playing our games, right? So as I was saying, like you won't have to engage with ads. You will get those rewards for free. You'll get a lot of perks in the game that will make it feel a lot better for you. And finally, when we launch Pixel, right, the only way to earn it is if you own an NFT for the most part, right? So for example, we're going to have a Bitverse season pass, right? Like in order to purchase the Bitverse season pass, you're going to need to have an NFT character. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to. There's going to be daily missions. There's going to be in-game events that are exclusive to NFT owners. There's going to be, we're even thinking like about kind of victory bonuses or first run bonuses across all the games, drops in certain, like, think of it as a way to get access to a set of features that free-to-play users won't really have.
Well, awesome. Thanks for clarifying that, both Max and Jorge. So I know we're coming up on the time here pretty soon, so just got a few more short questions for you guys. First off, where can they find all of you, and where can they find your projects?
You can find us and our projects on congregate.com, the bitverse.io, Twitter, Discord. I think we're on Instagram too. We're all over the place. As far as us three, I mean, we're in the reply list here on the AMA if you're looking for us specifically. But for Congregate in general, come find us in our various Discords. The Bitverse Discord is like my favorite place to hang out, so definitely jump in there.
Awesome. And I also got a little whisper here. You guys might be doing a giveaway you want to quickly chat about?
Sure thing. So there's plenty of giveaways going on constantly. So what I would suggest is check on at BH Bitverse for all the details. And sorry, I don't have exactly here the details because Francisco was the one handling that. Maybe he can request to talk to give us the recap. I know he's in the audience. Maybe he's
let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and summon him really quick here.
Sure, thank you.
Give him a crisp 20 seconds, see if he joins. In the meantime, I do actually have one question for you guys, since, we're all gamers here. Is there any games you're currently playing while I stall for time?
I am playing Gods Unchained, which is an IMX project as well. And it's, I would say it's been inspiration for a lot of us when we were thinking about the Bitverse.
Okay, here I am to talk about the giveaway. Okay, so yeah, we got several airdrops right now running in all the different social media accounts that we have, PH Bitverse, Twitter, also on Discord. And in this case, we have a special giveaway for Immutable X followers. We're going to give away 2 common NFTs and 1 rare NFT. We're going to pick the winners from the people who are actually right now listening to the AMA. And we're going to notify the winners as soon as we finish with this AMA.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming in to clarify that. So I guess before we sign off here, Max, Jorge, or Donnie, if you're back, do you guys have any key takeaways you want the audience to take away from this AMA? Anything to keep top of mind with your wonderful projects?
100%. I would say the key takeaways for us is, at least for me, right? Like when I'm talking about the Bitverse with people, what I tell them is, hey, we're building this metaverse of games, different genres, all connected by the same IP, and about, all of these NFT assets with your NFT hero in the middle, right? Like that for me is like the key takeaway of what we're doing, and we want to build more games over time. And also, Presale Day coming on September 22nd, Allow is coming by the end of this week. To me, those are like the 3 messages that I would convey: our vision and the important dates. And thank everyone for being here today. I don't know if Max and Donnie have anything else.
I second everything that Jorge said. Definitely come join us in Discord. Also, we're all there live. It's a great place to hang out.
Hey, if you can hear me, I guess I would just add in, a lot of projects in the Web3 space are blockchain first, then game, and we come at this from the opposite. This is game first and blockchain second, almost basically to augment the experiences of the gameplay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, all three of you. Also, Donnie, glad you could make it back to us here at the end.
Thank you.
So with that, you guys want to go ahead and say your goodbyes, and then I'll go ahead and close up the space here.
Cool. Thanks a lot, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.